Jordan was born at the Wentworth Nursing Home in Dublin on March 30th, 1948, the son of Eileen and Paddy Jordan. He had one older sibling, Helen. His father was the twin brother of a senior nun, the mother rectoress of the Irish Sisters of Charity, and worked as an accountant for the Electricity Supply Board, ESB. At 10 months old, Jordan developed a form of pink disease and his family were advised by doctors to move from Dublin to nearby Bray in County Wicklow for fresh air. His mother Eileen was advised to take him out of woolens and into cotton during the month of May, advice she opposed, initially. Nevertheless, she conceded and Jordan's condition did gradually improve. During his childhood, Jordan grew up in Dartry, South Dublin, and in Bray. He spent most of his time in Bray, where he became close with his Aunt Lillian, having regularly traveled to visit her at the end of the school week. In his childhood, Jordan was known by the nickname Flash, as his surname rhymed with the name Gordon. Jordan began his education at St. Anne's Preschool in Milltown, later spending 11 years at the Sing Street Christian Brothers School, where he and his fellow students would be regularly beaten if they did not study hard. Despite this experience, Jordan found the level of education to be high. While at Sing Street, age 15, Jordan briefly considered becoming a priest. Having dismissed the priesthood and family pressures to enter dentistry, he ended up taking a 6-week accountancy course at the College of Commerce, Dublin, and then began working for the Bank of Ireland as a clerk at their branch in Mullingar. After 4 years, Jordan moved to the branch in Camden Street, Dublin. During a banking strike in Dublin in 1970, he spent the summer on the island of Jersey, working as an accountant for an electricity company by day and doing bar work in the evenings. During this period, he encountered kart racing for the first time and had his first, unofficial, races there at St. Brelade's Bay. Upon his return to Dublin, Jordan bought a kart and began racing. He entered the Irish Kart Championship in 1971 and won it. In 1974, Jordan moved up to Formula Ford, the Irish Formula Ford Championship, and, in 1975, to Formula 3, but was forced to sit out the 1976 season after shattering his left leg in a crash at Mallory Park. After his injuries had healed, he switched to Formula Atlantic and won the Irish Formula Atlantic Championship in 1978. Jordan and Stefan Johansson raced in British Formula 3 in 1979 under the name Team Ireland, and, in the same year, Jordan drove in one Formula 2 race and did a small amount of testing for McLaren. He raced in the 1981 24 Hours of Le Mans in a BMW M1 with Steve O'Rourke and David Hobbs. In 1991, Eddie Jordan made a guest appearance at Silverstone in the Dunlop Rover 216 GTI Challenge that was a support event for the British Grand Prix. He finished in 10th place after spinning out when in 4th place. At the end of 1979 and short of money, Jordan founded his first team, Eddie Jordan Racing. The team ran drivers David Leslie and David Sears in 1981 and James Weaver in 1982. In 1983, Jordan signed Martin Brundle, who finished second to Ayrton Senna in British F3. A few years later, the team won the British Formula 3 Championship in 1987 with Johnny Herbert. Jordan also entered a Formula 3000 team, whose first wins came with drivers Herbert and Martin Donnelly in 1988. In 1989, the Jordan F3000 team dominated the season and Jordan driver Gene Alesi won the championship. During 1989, hired Reynard chief designer Gary Anderson, becoming Donnelly's engineer and overseeing operations of the team, eventually joining full-time on February 4, 1990. In 2009, Jordan returned to the F1 scene as a pundit for BBC Sports Grand Prix program alongside Jake Humphrey, who was later replaced by Susie Perry and David Coulthard. Jordan was full-time between 2009 and 2011, but did live races only from 2012 to 2015. Jordan wrote a monthly column called This Much I Know for F1 Racing magazine, until they relaunched with Murray Walker writing instead. Jordan also worked on a TV series called Eddie Jordan's Bad Boy Racers. In 2007, he was appointed chairman of Rally Ireland, a round of the World Rally Championship. Jordan broke many stories before they were due to be confirmed. These include Lewis Hamilton's move to Mercedes, Michael Schumacher's return in 2010, and Felipe Massa's departure from Ferrari. On February 11, 2016, it was announced that he would be one of the new presenters for Top Gear. In March 2016, he was announced as Channel 4's lead analyst for C4 F1. In 2023, Jordan launched his own podcast called Formula for Success, alongside his BBC and Channel 4 co-presenter David Coulthard. The format for the show typically sees Coulthard and Jordan react to current affairs in Formula One or reminisce on the sport's history, typically with a special guest. Jordan's final appearance on the podcast released on the day of his passing, with the current future of the podcast unclear. He was married to Marie, née McCarthy, an Irish former basketball player. The couple married in 1979 and had 4 children. They had homes in Cape Town, South Kensington, and London, and Monaco, where Jordan kept his yacht. He was the subject of This Is Your Life in 2000. In December 2024, Jordan announced that he had been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate and bladder cancer earlier in the year. He died on March 20, 2025, at the age of 76.